This is a story about love, trust, and betrayal. Sophia, a young woman who believes in love at first sight, meets Jack, a charming and mysterious man who seems perfect. Their connection grows stronger each day, but soon, Sophia uncovers a truth that could change everything. Jack has been hiding something crucial from her, and now she must decide whether to forgive him or walk away. Will love triumph, or will the secrets destroy everything? Sophia had always been a hopeless romantic, a believer in fate and in the possibility of true love. She had grown up with the idea that when the right person came along, everything would fall into place. Life would feel like a beautiful fairy tale, full of passion, adventure, and shared dreams. She was convinced that true love wasn't just a fantasy, it was something real that she would one day find. It was at a party hosted by one of her college friends that Sophia first met Jack. He was immediately noticeable, charming, with an easy smile and deep, soulful eyes that seemed to look straight through her. When they began to talk, she felt an instant connection, an energy that pulled them together. Their conversation was effortless, and for the first time in a long time, Sophia felt like she could be herself completely. Jack was everything she had ever wanted in a man, intelligent, thoughtful, and with a warmth that made her feel cherished. They spent hours together that evening, laughing and talking about their shared interests, hopes, and dreams. He listened intently as she spoke, making her feel like she was the most important person in the room. It wasn't long before they were texting each other every day, making plans to meet up again. Their relationship blossomed quickly. They began spending more and more time together, coffee dates, walks in the park, dinners at cozy restaurants. Each moment felt like a step toward something deeper, something more meaningful. Jack had a way of making her feel special, as if she was the center of his world. He would surprise her with little gestures, like leaving a note in her bag or sending a text to check in during her busy days. It was the kind of attention she had always dreamed of. But despite all the closeness, there were small things about Jack that made her uneasy. He was fiercely private, especially when it came to his past. Sophia noticed that he never really talked about his family. Whenever she asked about his childhood or his upbringing, he would quickly change the subject, or give a vague answer that left her with more questions than answers. It wasn't just his family. Jack was always cautious when it came to his personal life. He would never talk about his friends, and whenever she suggested they spend time with people from his life, he would make excuses, saying they were busy or that he preferred a quieter, more private life. His phone was also a mystery. He would keep it face down on the table, and when it rang, he would immediately step away to take the call. Sophia wasn't one to pry, but as time went on, she couldn't ignore the growing feeling that something was being hidden from her. She told herself that maybe Jack was just a private person, but the more she got to know him, the more she began to question his motives. Then came the night that changed everything. Sophia had stayed late at work, and when she finally arrived home, she received a message from Jack asking if she wanted to grab dinner. She was exhausted but excited to see him, so she agreed. They met at their favorite restaurant, a cozy place with soft lighting and a relaxed atmosphere. They chatted for a while, catching up on their day, but Sophia couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Jack was distracted, glancing at his phone every few minutes. At one point, his phone buzzed loudly on the table. He quickly picked it up, glanced at the screen, and then slipped it into his pocket without saying a word. Sophia's heart skipped a beat when she saw the name Emily flash across the screen. She had seen that name before, but this time it felt different. the thought crept into her mind, who was Emily? When Jack stepped away to take a call, Sophia's curiosity got the better of her. She knew she shouldn't, but she couldn't help herself. She glanced at his phone screen again and saw a text message from Emily, reading, "Can't wait to see you tomorrow, love. Counting down the days until our wedding." Her heart sank. Wedding? Sophia felt a wave of nausea wash over her. She quickly put the phone back where it had been, but the damage was done. She sat there, her mind racing. How could Jack be hiding this from her? Why hadn't he told her about Emily? What did this mean for their relationship? When Jack returned, he noticed her pale face and furrowed brow. "Is everything okay?" he asked, his voice soft and concerned. But Sophia couldn't answer. All she could think about was that message, the truth that he had been hiding from her all this time. The next day felt like a blur. Sophia tried to focus on her work, but she couldn't stop thinking about the text message she'd seen on Jack's phone. She felt betrayed, confused, and heartbroken. How could he hide such an important truth from her? And why? She had trusted him completely, and now she realized that trust had been shattered. At lunch, she met with her best friend Emma, who could see immediately that something was wrong. "Sophia, what's going on? You look terrible." Sophia hesitated, trying to force a smile, but it didn't reach her eyes. "It's Jack," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I found out that he's engaged to someone else." Emma's eyes widened. "What? Are you serious? How did you find out?" Sophia recounted the events of the previous night, the message from Emily, the wedding, everything. Emma listened quietly, her face soft with concern. "You need to talk to him, Sophia," Emma urged. "You deserve the truth. You deserve an explanation." "I don't even know if I want to hear it," Sophia replied, her voice shaking with emotion. "How could he do this to me? How could he lie to my face for all this time?" "That's exactly why you need to talk to him," Emma insisted. "You can't let him get away with this. You deserve answers, even if it's hard to hear." Sophia nodded, though her heart felt heavy with the weight of the decision she was about to make. She had already made up her mind to confront Jack, but now she realized how much she needed the truth, no matter how painful it would be. That evening, she called Jack and asked him to come over. Her mind was racing with questions, but she couldn't allow herself to get lost in the anger she felt. She needed clarity. She needed to hear it from him, straight from his mouth. She couldn't live with this uncertainty anymore. When Jack arrived, he looked nervous, his hands fidgeting in his pockets. "Sophia," he said, his voice soft, "we need to talk." She met his gaze, her eyes cold. "You're right," she said, "we do need to talk, but this time, I'm the one asking the questions." Jack swallowed, stepping forward, but Sophia held up a hand, signaling for him to stop. "I know everything, Jack," she said, her voice steady but laced with hurt. "I know about Emily. I know you're engaged to her. Why didn't you tell me? Why did you lie to me for all this time?" Jack looked like he had been struck. He staggered back slightly, his face pale. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. For a moment, they both stood there in silence, the air thick with tension. Finally, Jack found his voice, though it was barely above a whisper. "I never wanted you to find out this way," he said, his eyes pleading. "I never wanted to hurt you. Sophia, please, understand. This wasn't supposed to happen." "Wasn't supposed to happen?" she repeated, her voice rising in disbelief. "What wasn't supposed to happen? Jack wasn't supposed to fall in love with me, or wasn't supposed to lie to me? Which part of this wasn't supposed to happen?" Jack took a deep breath, trying to steady himself. "My parents set this up, Sophia. They insisted I marry Emily. It's part of their plan, their expectations for me. At first, I tried to fight it, but they wouldn't let me go. They pressured me into this engagement. But when I met you, he paused, his voice cracking. I never expected to feel what I feel for you. I didn't want to hurt you. I didn't know how to tell you the truth without losing everything. Sophia's eyes filled with tears. She had loved him, truly loved him, but hearing this, the way he had treated her, the way he had lied, shattered everything. She felt a knot form in her chest. This wasn't the man she thought she knew. He wasn't the man who made her feel like she was the only one that mattered. He had been hiding a whole life from her, a life that she was not a part of. I don't understand, she said, her voice breaking. How could you look me in the eyes every day and lie to me like that? How could you love me and keep this from me? I don't know who you are anymore. Jack stepped forward, his face filled with regret. Sophia, please, I love you. You have to believe that. I never meant for any of this to happen. I didn't want to hurt you. I thought if I kept this secret, I could keep you in my life. I thought I could have both Emily and you. But I see now how wrong I was. Tears streamed down Sophia's face, but she didn't wipe them away. You don't get to have both. Jack, she said quietly, you don't get to keep me while living a lie. I deserve someone who will be honest with me, someone who doesn't hide the most important parts of their life. I don't know how I could have been so blind. Jack reached out, his voice desperate. Please, Sophia, don't say that. Please don't walk away. I can't lose you. I'll break off the engagement. I'll do whatever it takes to make this right. But Sophia stepped back, her heart heavy with the weight of the decision she had to make. You've already lost me, Jack. I can't be with you. I can't stay with someone who has kept this from me. I need to go. I need to move on. Jack's face crumpled with emotion, and he reached for her, but she gently pulled away. Goodbye, Jack, she said, her voice thick with tears. I deserve more than this. Sophia spent the next few weeks in a whirlwind of emotions. Her heart was torn apart, but at the same time, she felt an odd sense of relief. She had made the right decision. She couldn't stay with someone who lied to her. No matter how much she loved him, the pain was unbearable, but she knew she had to move forward, even if it meant letting go of the man she had thought was her soulmate. She spent hours thinking, crying, and trying to make sense of everything that had happened. She started to see the signs that she had missed along the way, the secrecy, the lies, the way Jack had kept his true life hidden from her. In some ways, she felt foolish, but in others, she realized that she had been searching for something real, something genuine, and now she had learned that sometimes, love isn't enough to make a relationship work. Days turned into weeks, and slowly, Sophia began to heal. She spent more time with her friends, went on long walks, and rediscovered parts of herself that she had neglected. She focused on her career, on her personal growth, and on healing from the wounds Jack had caused. One day, while she was out at a coffee shop with Emma, she met someone new. His name was Luke, and he was kind, genuine, and most importantly, he was open. He didn't hide parts of himself. They started seeing each other casually at first, but it wasn't long before Sophia realized that what she had with Luke was different. There was no mystery, no lies, just honest, open communication. Sophia wasn't ready for a serious relationship right away, but she allowed herself to enjoy the connection they shared. Slowly, her heart began to heal, and she realized that love could only thrive in an environment of trust and truth. She learned that sometimes, letting go was the only way to find the love she truly deserved. And as she moved forward with her life, Sophia found peace. She knew that true love wasn't about holding on to something that was broken. It was about learning from the past and building something stronger, based on honesty and trust. Subscribe and like so you don't miss the next shocking story. Thank you for watching.